Welcome to the Bayou City Soccer Podcast. Whether inside or outside the loop, we are talking everything soccer in Houston. Y'all ready? Let's get it. Houston, welcome to another episode of the Bayou City Soccer Podcast. My name is Rui Segura. Thank you for joining us for another Monday night special. I am not alone today. We are waiting on Joey Stats. Hopefully he makes an appearance. The so loved Joey Stats. But I am joined by another one of the famous guys here. Cristian Putalias, how you doing, brother?
Dang, I didn't know I was famous, but I'll take it. Good, man. How's it going, everyone? Edson, hi, Rudy. We'll say hi to Joey soon. But yeah, we're doing great, man. Another week, another painful kind of weekend.
Yeah, definitely. It wasn't the best result, even though we're like, man, they tied. But we'll talk about the circumstances around it. But yes, you mentioned Edson. Edson is behind playing with the strings in the background. There he is, wearing his Tigres shirt. Maybe can you turn around and do the you may have to do a little flip, kind of, what was his name? No, it's Guzman trying to make that penalty save. Yep, there you go. You got it.
you have to do the whole show like that.
Right? It was great. I saw that. I started laughing as soon as I saw it. But we are joined by Joey Chavala. He makes his appearance. Hey, you were missed, brother. How you been?
I'm good. I'm doing good. Good.
That's good.
Is my mic good? Am I on the right one?
Yes,
I think you are on the right one. We
All
hear
right.
you loud and clear, man. So
Sweet.
the people have missed you, man. Even on the Spanish one, people were like, "Where's Joey's stats?" And we're like, "He needs to learn Spanish,
Yes.
like to make
I
it out."
was doing my Duolingo, man. That's where I was.
You have to step it up, man. You got to keep that streak going.
Yeah.
But no, it's great to be back. I love Monday nights are always fun to talk Dynamo. Hopefully, more winning than anything. But hey, before we get started, I was going to say last week. I told you guys that I was going to try to take the family to the Dash game, which I did make it to the Dash game. So I'll give you guys a quick shout out to go check out Orange and Blueprints podcast. You'll get to hear everything that happened. Former Houston Dash coach Sam Lady came in, took all 3 points. He was a very defensive coach, apparently. That's why he probably got fired. It seems that way, but he didn't hold back any punches with his team. So, again, check them out on Wednesday. And I mentioned Movimiento Naranja. Obviously, that's on Thursdays. David, myself, and I think we will have our very first guest on the show coming on that. So, be there to listen to that podcast episode live. I was going to say, so yeah, we're going to take the kids or the whole family to the Dash game. They all voted to go watch Minecraft, and I just want to add, I have never felt so out of place. I'm 35 years old, and this is probably the first movie that I go watch that is, kids, whatever you want, and I had no clue what was happening. So I didn't, for at least the first 30 minutes of the movie, I did not understand any of the reference, and I'm like, hey, I'm old, man. My kids knew everything to this. Except for, Jack Black is such a lovable character, and I think our what's it called?
Love Jack Black.
Yeah, it's like our generation grew up with School of Rock,
and,
Kung Fu Panda, and obviously
I've actually never seen Kung Fu Panda.
Dude,
those
you're
are great
out.
movies.
Especially the first one. The first one overall was the best one.
Say, most of my Jack Black is from School of Rock and Nacho Libre.
Yes, yeah, and what was
I've never seen Nacho Libre.
You never seen Nacho Libre?
It's pretty awful, but it's awesome.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's a really bad movie.
Napoleon Dynamite type
it makes
movie.
it laugh.
Yeah.
And so yeah, it was funny because the thing with Jack Black, he makes so many jingles, right? And
Tropic Thunder is actually my favorite Jack Black movie.
That was a pretty good one too. That had some really good characters, just very good actors in that movie. But he did the Mario movie. He was Bowser, so that was and he has the jingles. So in my head too, guys. I know that not everybody's been watched that movie, but he has this little jingle that is 30 seconds, and my kids have me replaying it in the car every single time we get in the car. And I won't sing it but definitely, man, it's gonna be in y'all's head eventually, kind of like how Peaches was with that Bowser song, because they're short, but he gets you, dude. Um, Chris, I guess, what's your favorite Jack Black movie before we move
No,
on?
yeah,
Okay, you're thinking, you're thinking.
I showed School of Rock to my kids not that long ago, maybe
Yeah.
sometime early this year, and I've been trying to show them like the movies I used to watch when I was a kid, because they love to like watch cartoons, and they're like, Dad, did you used to watch this? Like right now they're in a big Pokemon like time era, as Taylor Swift would put it, and yeah, so they're like, Dad, did you know about all these Pokemons? I was like, bro, 150, 151, that was my cutoff. After that, I have no idea who these Pokemons are. But yeah, no, School of Rock I think is all time great.
What about
It's
Tenacious
just a
D?
good.
What's your favorite Tenacious D song?
I can't really say one. I've heard a few, but I can't. I remember
Man,
I used to worked like every so often. My dad would take me to with his he would park cars in valet like at a fancy restaurant,
Mm-hmm.
and I went there one time, and then I got into his car once, and they were blasting Tenacious D, and I was like, bro, this is awesome. And just in that, taking the card from the door to the parking garage, it was like pumped, because you're not supposed to touch any people, their car stuff,
Mm-hmm.
and they were just going at it. Look at this guy. So, but yeah, no, I would say School of Rock for sure.
Show your kids some Tenacious D.
yeah.
I'm gonna have to.
Yeah, he does a good job, man. I mean, that's why I think if it wasn't for him, I would completely be lost in that Minecraft movie. But overall, it was fun to go with the family. But now that jingle, I'm just gonna let you guys know. Look up Steve's Lava Chicken. It's gonna be in your head soon enough. Your kids are gonna be singing it as soon as they hear it on YouTube, and why not? So, yeah, it's a pretty intense jingle, and maybe eventually I'll make this into the background song before we leave or something. But Chris, man, I know you're busy with your kid. He's trying to get your attention, dude.
He's just he thinks he's funny. Like,
Yeah,
he's
it's
just
fine. He's fine. But if you want to tell the people how they can connect with us, man.
yeah. Add Bayou City Soccer guys. BayouCitySoccer.net is a website. Don't forget, go to the YouTube channel. Go ahead and like and subscribe. You're probably watching there. If not, you're probably watching on X. So go ahead and follow us there. Also on the Instagram, Blue Sky, and Facebook. We're everywhere that you can find us. And just check out the website, BayouCitySoccer.net, UglyGuppy.com. Check that out. And then also Elotes Bravos. Check those guys out on Instagram. And We Got Soccer at WeGotSoccer.com. That's where you can get all your soccer gear that you're looking for, from jerseys to cleats, shin guards, and everything in between. Go find it there at We Got Soccer, WeGotSoccer.com.
Yeah, absolutely. We have a bunch of pictures we gotta take from all the new gear that Ugly Guppy gave us. New polos. I know David was rocking it this past game, and I think when we recorded actually for the last episode. But all right, this is the one that I need to ask Jay Hurtado. Jay Hurtado, you join us every time, man. LA, were you at the game? Let us know if you made it out to the Galaxy game or not. I can't remember. I know he had mentioned that he was planning to go to one of the games in LA or Carson, California at this rate. But yeah, let's get started. Edson, if you can hit us up with our slides so we can kind of stay on topic. But before the game happened on Saturday, we did find out that the rumors were right. Jonathan Bond, the new goalkeeper, was brought in. I didn't see anything regarding the transfer fee. Not that the team makes it official, but I didn't even see how much his transfer market value was. I'm gonna say maybe 200, 300K. But yeah, so they signed him on a full transfer from Watford FC. Yeah, I like it. He's gonna be 007 for now on, and he signed for 2 years. So this year, next year, and then he has a club option in 2027. Good thing, even though he's basically lived in England all of his life, he is an American, so he won't need any international spot for him. He did spend some time with the Galaxy before moving back to England to join Watford FC. So Good stuff, man. A lot of people thought. I mean, I know Dustin was pushing that this guy was the starter no matter what. Glad to see that in the end Blake still got the start this weekend. But Joey, anything you want to add about Jonathan Bond here that maybe the people don't know?
He's a good player. I mean, that's really all there is to it. I mean, he had a few good years with the Galaxy, got them to the playoffs a few years. He's a solid player. He's a better goalkeeper than what they have right now. Obviously, we talked about it the other day that they need to earn the spot. So Blake Gillingham has the spot now, and it's his to lose. Jonathan Bond's a much better player than him breathing down his neck. But I mean, Blake, if he keeps impressing, he'll probably keep it. But I don't see that happening. I think Bond is probably the starter by next week, maybe the week after.
Yeah, of course. Blake is starting to become obviously a fan favorite. Just the story behind him, and he's been performing pretty good. But as Ben mentioned, I think before the game, whenever it was announced, pre-game presser, he mentioned about they were always going to get another goalkeeper when Andrew Tarville went down. So you need the competition. Obviously, Jimmy Murray was always or got hurt as well. They kept calling Pedro Cruz up, but you need goalkeepers for sure. So that was I guess the big news, and to this, we're still waiting for Andrew Linger to play. I know that
next week.
Yeah, so next week for sure.
Yeah, Ben said it in the presser next week.
So against Colorado, you mean, or
yeah.
Okay, yeah. Because I remember that he had last time I had asked him, which was pre-LAFC, he mentioned either Galaxy or Colorado. So I guess we'll finally see him. It'd be a homecoming for him since the game be at Shell Energy Stadium. But yeah, and actually we haven't heard anything about Pablo Ortiz, and I keep seeing that he's still training wherever he's at. So whatever he posts, it seems like he's still in Slovakia or whichever league. I can't remember at this point. But let's talk about the game, guys. Obviously, ends up in a 1-1 draw. The team lacked bite. That we've mentioned it beforehand, how this was a good setup for the Dynamo to get all 3 points. Obviously, a Galaxy dealing with a lot of injuries. Yes, they were getting some players back, like Javier Peck and Pencil, into the lineup. But even with them being back, they obviously were lacking form. They were lacking chemistry. And their injury list, it's much, much longer than the Dynamo is. So it just seemed like a perfect recipe, since Ben Olsen seems to play well on the road, but they score early. Let's talk. I don't have the clip, but let's talk about the goal, Ponce's goal, Chris. What did you see? How great was Basi's assist, or was he shooting? But anyways, Ponce scores. He does. He's at the right place at the right time. Puts in the back of the net.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things, like I wrote down today on the 3 points. I think, Ponce is one of those guys that, you can tell he has quality, right? And it's just getting the service to him, getting the ball to him inside the box. Obviously, the potential of him scoring obviously is going to be greater than when he has to, maybe drop back and maybe touch a ball or try to go do a wall pass with somebody outside the box. He is a box 9. That's where he thrives, and he's always going to be at the right time or at the right place. Usually he makes up his own luck, or as they say, you're not lucky, you just kind of put yourself in situations that bring luck your way. This one was a perfect thing too. You see it in the run that he makes too, whenever Kovacic has the ball or when Dorsey has the ball, he tries to find a good spot where the ball might drop. But on this one, you basically see it there, right? And it was a great. I think the work by Kowalczyk was super amazing this game. Joey gave him a really good rating, and I think it kind of showed, right? His job is on the line, so in a way, right, with Lingard coming in, so he has to start playing like he really wants to play, and I think Basi and him maybe are the two that are in question whenever Lingard comes in, to see where he's going to take which spot he's going to take. And Kovacic is kind of, doing his work to say, hey, I want to continue to play. I don't care where, but I want to contribute to his team, feed the number 9 and just be an asset. So great by Ponce, obviously great by Kowalczyk, and I just think they're going in the right direction, both of them, and hopefully Lingard can contribute to that as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm gonna go ahead and hijack it because I downloaded the video here so I can play it for you guys if it lets me. Let me see.
Or will come back into the mix. He said, "I'm not afraid to ride the hot hand." Right now, his job to lose.
Pass
A lot of support from the manager and the first-year rookie.
Into the penalty area come the Dynamo once again, and it falls right to the foot of
You just have to be
Ponce,
where you gotta
who
be.
Pounces on it.
I don't
and
think
puts it
Bassi
home.
meant
and the Houston
for that to be a
Dynamo,
pass, but
That was
away from
absolutely a
home,
pass.
have
I don't wanna
taken
hear
an
that,
early
Rudy.
lead over the Galaxy.
How could you tell me that's not a pass?
I
As
don't know.
Artur on the
It didn't
quick
seem
little
like a
one
Let's
pass.
look
touch
at
how
it. Let's look
quickly
at it.
he's able to move this
Absolutely a
ball to the
pass. He did the
outside.
What a
Mesut
ball,
Ozil
though.
thing.
One touch will do.
What a ball.
Established ball possession. Look at the run
Bullshit.
being held on the outside. Really well
Great.
done to keep Yamane in his
Even-
strength. That opens
That's
up just
gorgeous.
the
Yeah.
tightest of
Even if it
window
wasn't a
to be able to
pass,
square this
I
thing
mean, you
back
got to give
across.
Bassi props in the
Kowalczyk
dropping,
on the
right,
little layoff.
to the top of the
The
box.
flick through.
When
'Cause
does,
a lot
when
of-
does
and
Bossi
then the
ever
absolute dagger
one
on the
time
back
shoot it
post.
on his left foot? When have we
This-
ever
Exactly.
Coming
even
into the
seen
match,
him
we said it was now
do
about
that?
quality.
I agree, and I think that was the big thing because he never does it. It just didn't seem natural at all that he was getting an actual pass. But
He did the Mesut Ozil thing.
he gives
fakes
you
the
a
shot
shit.
for
That's
the
fine.
pass.
I mean,
Yeah,
at this point,
it doesn't matter,
add the
right?
stats. Let's get
Yeah.
add the stats.
We'll
There's
take it as
nothing
an
wrong with
assist.
that.
Yeah.
Brandon says it was a pass.
I mean, either or,
It is
the
a
ball ended
pass.
up in. It could have been. It could have been. But if it was a pass, he obviously wasn't looking where he
Edson
was
said the
passing.
same
My
thing.
opinion.
Edson saying, look at the angle of the foot. That was an
Um,
intentional pass. And obviously, one thing that Edson did mention as well, the fatigue. Obviously, Galaxy did play against Tigres midweek before this match. But it still wasn't enough when it comes to the Dynamo side of things. But we see the starting lineup. We do see the starting lineup. We see Brooklyn Reigns in the mix. We don't see Urso, who's obviously every time he plays, he's been playing very well. He doesn't even make the team sheet. Joey, what did you like about the lineup? What didn't you like about the lineup itself? Let's go with that.
I guess it was the best lineup they had available to themselves. I maybe want. I could say maybe with hindsight, I'd rather see maybe Kowalczyk into the 8 instead of Reigns, and then bring Aliu into the mix. But because Reigns was just not very good at all, unfortunately. But I mean, you can't complain too much because Kowalczyk in his natural, I guess, sort of natural spot on the left was very good. So
Yeah.
Reigns just. Yeah, he wasn't good. I mean, I'm not saying sit Reigns next week if Urso's not available. I'd still probably play him, but it wasn't a good performance. It was also his first start of the year. Backline, Ben got that spot on. The only other option really was Bartlow and for Femi, and Femi's been hot lately. So
yeah, Femi's been doing well, but I agree with Brooklyn. It was a lot to ask for this kid. Like you mentioned, it's the first start. He wasn't amazing. He wasn't, I would say, completely garbage, but he was probably the least.
he's just kind of there.
We'll get
Yeah,
there. We'll get there
the
too. There's a slide in here, and I think he's probably going to be one of the main references. But yeah, overall, it was good again to see Blake. He's been playing well. He's been performing. Yes, he made a couple goals in previous games, not necessarily his fault or anything that he could do, and we talked about in that. But when we look at the stats, I mean, yes, there's an early red card. What minute was it? Let me see. I had it
28.
20 something, right? 28.
28.
And you look at the stats, and I mean, it was already pretty lopsided before the red card when it came to possession. The expected goals, I mean, that's obviously the Dynamo had more looks, but they weren't as aggressive when it came to being up a man. And I understand it makes it difficult. I can't remember. There's I think it was maybe La Volpe, one of the coaches in Mexico, that I remember him saying that he plays better with 10 men. And it made no sense, and people gave him crap. But Edson's going to butt in. I can see her. I can't remember if it was him or if it was Tuca. But
You're
someone
summoning
said
him.
it, and it was like, what? But yeah, I mean, and actually in that game, I believe that with 10 men, they beat the other team like 3-0 or something crazy like that. So, Yeah,
Because
just part of it.
being with 10 also kind of kicks up a notch, and the fact that now every player has to play a little extra. I
Right.
would, that would be my guess. So everybody has to be extra on their toes, extra, aggressive, because you're a man down. So you kind of have to cover their space. When you're 11, that's like the expected. But when you're a man down, you just kind of have to cover the gap. So you're going to be a little extra. I mean, Galaxy was at home. They're not in a good, form. So I think all those kind of things, went their way.
Yeah.
And obviously when they got their goal, they were like, oh, well, we can do this,
Yeah,
So they kind of
absolutely.
turned it up a notch. But yeah,
Yeah.
circumstances.
I think that obviously even in the first half, the team still played well. They were being a little dangerous. They were pushing for a second goal after the red card in the first half, and it just didn't come. To me, that's something that you mentioned, Joey. I think, and I don't know if I was saying it on the chat as well, but I'm like, this is when you bring somebody like Aliu, because you need somebody to be able to stretch the field and just keep like Galaxy on their toes at the end of the day.
The game
right?
opened up a lot in the second half, and that was a
Yeah.
perfect time to bring in Aliu and
I
Ladero.
agree.
They brought in Ladero. Ladero was bad.
Yeah.
I'm kind of losing faith in him, but yeah, it needed a player like Aliu. I thought Aliu looked fine when he came on. He didn't really get too much time to really do much, but I think it needed a player like that in the game. I mean, we needed some width that was going to come inside a little bit. I mean, Dorsey was so one-dimensional in this game. Every time he got the ball, he did the same thing. Take it outside, cross, take it outside, cross, which is not usual for Dorsey, because we usually see Dorsey's dynamic. Sometimes he cuts in on his left foot because he's that freakishly strong left foot that he pops at every now and then. Sometimes he drives through the middle in transition, but it was very one-dimensional in this game. Kovalchik had a really, really good first half offensively. He kind of disappeared in the second half outside of that cross for Ponce that hit the post. He was great defensively 90 minutes, though. I got to give Kovalchik his flowers on that one. Bossy, too, kind of disappeared at points in the second half.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I totally agree with you, Chris. So anything you want to add to what Joey said?
No, yeah. And believe it or not, I thought, maybe having somebody like Aliu would make the game better, in the sense that Aliu, I say what I say about him, he does bring a different component to the team, right? Like, he does bring you that width and that pace, because he does have pace. What he does with it, that's a whole different story, but the guy has pace, right? And yeah, I think, that should have been maybe the first substitution of the night. To bring Aliu deep, open him wide, throw him some long balls. I mean, you saw the first one, right? Escobar finding Ponce led to a red card. So why not, maybe try a couple of those, just let Aliu run. But I think, I mean, that's where we gotta, or at least I'll criticize Ben, in the fact that I feel like, he just didn't do his job when it came to the substitutions. They were late, bringing in Lodeiro. Maybe, we were expecting something else from Lodeiro, and he just had a really poor game. But even Lodeiro, in my opinion, came in 10 minutes too late. At the 60th minute, they should have been looking at, different ways after the goal. After the goal that came in the 50s, maybe think about you imposing your game into this LAFC or LA Galaxy. Don't let them, get that confident and push forward, because I mean, they were going for the second one.
Yep.
Go for it.
No, and I was gonna say, no, I agree with you. I think I wouldn't have brought in Lodeiro, and yeah, I'm thinking back of like what I was saying as I was watching the game. I was like, bring Aliu.
Yeah.
Like, you just need somebody, because you could see it. You could see, granted, the Galaxy weren't dangerous, right? I mean, their goal was a goal that no one's gonna save. Maybe Jonathan Bond being, 4 inches taller, or however many. No, but
Blake was late on that, in my opinion. But
it's, I mean, free kicks is different, right? It's not like it was.
It was a good free kick.
Very good free kick.
Not gonna take that. That was a really hit. I saw it again.
Yeah.
It had so much pace, and it was like a very strong kick. But Blake was in the middle of the goal, so
yeah. And so where I was going is that the team still played well. It was a dumb foul by Arthur. I mean, it was
stupid foul.
It came from different giveaways. I think Blake gave a bad ball to somebody, and the ball landed in no man's land, and Arthur just kick the guy. And it was just one of those that when you're up a man, those are the things you don't want to do, right? You want to keep anything for there not to be any kind of close enough set piece. And clearly that's exactly what happened. And Diego Fagundes has set extremely well. Again, could he have done better? Blake, could he have not? I mean, it's going to be very difficult for any goalie to save those. But yeah, I think at the end of the day,
this is when I wish Rodrigo was here.
Yes, I agree.
I actually meant to text him and ask him.
You should.
His opinion as a goalkeeper.
He's been texting me a little bit, and I keep telling him, "Hey, man, you need to come make a cameo." So maybe you need to hit him up, Chris. See if he decides to jump in. Just do it right now, man. You thought about him, boom, do it.
I'm gonna shoot him a text right now.
It's the Holy Spirit, bro, in your head. But no, yeah, I agree. It's one of those that the team played well. Joey, bad foul, great goal. But I think before that foul, as Chris says, I think you just needed to bring again. You look at the bench and there's not a lot of people you could bring in, but I would have brought Aliu over Nico Loredo and open.
I'd brought both.
Yeah, you both at the same time would have been fine too. But I think you needed, and then same thing. Okay, the goal happens, right? Yes, the team is competitive. The team is looking for. When did Ponce hit the post? And do you remember what? I know it's in the second half, right?
60 something, I believe. It was after the goal.
It was after the goal.
Yeah.
And so obviously the team was dangerous. They were getting close to getting another goal, but you just felt that now it was going to be harder once the game was tied, and for the Dynamo to break another goal. And so yeah, it was difficult. I don't know.
God, that build up for that the post hitting shot was so nice, by the way.
It was.
That pass from Escobar to play in Kovalchik for that was so nice. Yeah, they just kind of took their foot off the gas in the second half, coughed up the goal, and then at that point the Galaxy, they know what they need to do. They're happy with the point. They played good defense and they played the counters. They played the transition game, and the Dynamo just had no answers for it. They couldn't get the goal. That's kind of how it goes when you're playing a team like that. I've seen it. We've seen it a million times. I mean, you could even compare it to even when you're like one of the big teams in the Premier League or something. You go up one goal, you come out in the second half playing a little sloppy. Let's just say you're Man City or Arsenal or whatever, and then they get back one through a set piece or whatever, and then they park the bus for 40 minutes and they can't score. We've seen that happen so many times, and that's really what happened.
Yeah, I think Brandon makes a good point. He says, how are we going to play worse up a man? Unacceptable. There was some moments where I thought we were going to give up another goal. I agree. Eventually, you kind of felt Gabriel Pet feeling himself, and being dangerous. And even with a man down, they had the Dynamo pin up, especially on the right side of the field at times, and you just kind of were like, good old Dynamo coming through, like they're gonna get scored on, but it obviously didn't happen. Valuable point, but at the end of the day, you take it as a loss, and I'm sure they're definitely not, happy with that result. I mean, they shouldn't be. Overall, I mean, Ben told you exactly what he meant in the post-game presser. So if you haven't listened to that, go check out YouTube after this recording is over, and you can see what he had to say. And who was the other guy that talked? Ponce was the other guy that spoke. But Joey, we started this new segment just as the stand out and the letdown. So again, it just who was the better player, who wasn't all that great. I'll start. For me, I'll pick Ponce. I feel like Ponce had one of those games that as a standout. Apart from the goal, he does everything well, and we see him do it in previous games, but no goal, right, to his name. And this one, he rounded it out, in my opinion. Yeah.
Before he talks, I want to tell the chat too. Leave us, who do you think was the standout player for you, and who was the letdown player for you? So we know why you guys kind of felt the game or how y'all saw the game too.
And now finish with the letdown. Yeah, you spoke about Brooklyn Reigns. I feel he was, to me, the weakest link. In the midfield, obviously, I feel like it was very evident how Urso, the veteran and the experience, just kind of helps play alongside Arthur, and that midfield just a little bit more secure. Not vintage Hector Herrera type by any means, but definitely. And I'm with you, Joey. I'm not saying bench Brooklyn Reigns. I mean, the only way to get experience is by being a part of the games. So anyways, that's who I would be. Carlos saying the letdown was Arthur. That's an interesting one.
Arthur was really
foul,
good
but-
for 89 minutes.
Yeah.
He did like a perfect like assist to the assist, and then he assisted Galaxy by getting that foul. And
Basically.
yeah, I guess Chris, Joey, whoever wants to go first.
Oh, I
If you
could
guys
go.
want to pick, go for it. Man.
My standout was Franco Escobar. Franco Escobar is my man of the match for the fourth game in a row on the Dynamo side. He has just been unplayable lately. You can't get past him. He's turning defense into attack. He was even the Dynamo's best midfielder at points in this game. He was just all over the field. He set up the red card with that great pass to Ponce. He set up that really nice chance for Ponce that hit the post. He was everywhere in this game. And letdown, I'm going to say Dorsey, because I said Dorsey was
That's a
very,
good
very, very par performance from him. He wasn't necessarily awful. I don't think anyone besides Brooklyn in this game were really bad. Everyone was just most of the team was just kind of okay. Like Dorsey was okay. He wasn't terrible. But he didn't stand out to me. So he's gonna be my other letdown.
That's a good pick. Chris, you defer.
Who's your standout, Rudy?
It was Ponce as well.
Okay,
yeah,
Ponce.
we both picked Ponce.
I'm gonna just to be a little bit different. I will say Sebastian Kowalczyk. I think, like I mentioned earlier, he is fighting for his job, and you can kind of see it. The kid is running everywhere. I mean, we know that he's a defensive beast, but I think this game kind of showed a little bit of what he can do. On the opposite. I mean, we've seen it before, right? But it kind of showed what he can do on the opposite side of the ball. Getting those touches in with Escobar to kind of set up that ball to Ponce that hit the post. Making that drive into the box that we don't see often. Dynamo players going and running into the box. What, trying to take on a couple of players? That's something new, and he was trying to do that. Trying to be different. Great vision. Also seeing Bassi kind of stepping out and dropping that off for him, and just other than that, obviously defensively he's a beast. And then let down, you probably guys won't agree, maybe Joy won't, but I would say Jack McGlynn, not in the sense that he had a terrible game, but I feel like he's really, really hot or really, really cold, and he doesn't really have a warm game for me. Like if it's not on a dead ball, which he is amazing at, I mean, we can obviously point that out. His left foot is on a dead ball is immaculate, but any other, I guess maybe because we saw a really good game from him with LAFC. I was expecting something similar, but honestly, I didn't see anything of substance that would tell me like, oh, Jack played a really good game. But that's just me, right? I mean,
yeah, I will say
was a standout more than Jack. And
I was gonna say I was very close. I know controversial here, but I'm very close to putting Bassi as the standout. For sure. Just because of
standout or let down?
No, standout. That's what I'm saying.
If
Controversial.
Bassi was better in the second half, I would say that.
Yeah, for sure. And he gets
his
assists,
moments.
not a goal. So he wasn't terrible. He was definitely on the top tier and of from good to bad type of thing. So we'll keep it going. But now the game is done. LA, the Dynamo took care of LA teams, I suppose. I mean, 4 points out of 6. You take them, right? You take them. If we looked at the calendar, we spoke about the LAFC game can change stuff. I mean, it's still important that they're getting points on the road, no matter what. Even though, again, it does feel like a loss. But now the Dynamo come to Shell Energy Stadium. They'll be taking on the Colorado Rapids. Saturday night, 7:30 p.m. So get your tickets if you're here, in Houston. Actually, we probably do a giveaway. I'll probably do a giveaway for for that game. So keep an eye out on our social media. Joey, you tend to always go to the Colorado games when they're in Colorado.
Yeah, when they're in Colorado. This is a show. Yeah. I think it's when do they play the Rapids?
I can't remember. By the way, I need to get my ticket for Nashville. I already have. I got the green light. So
September 13th is when they are playing.
When is it? Dynamo
In Denver.
When does Dynamo play? What?
Nashville?
September 27th.
Oh, okay. Pass. Okay, yeah, never mind.
Yeah, I think you told me that you had something or something.
I don't know. We'll see. We'll look into it because I'm going in the summer, but it would be cool.
Look into it
for sure.
Joey, what are you thinking? Still Nashville? You're down?
Yeah, I'm down.
Right.
That'd be 3 weekends in a row that I'm going away, but I'm kind of down for it.
Hey. I'd be one of those quick. Now we just got to get Dustin rolling because
Dustin and say, so I'm gonna be in Phoenix the first weekend of September. Then I'm gonna be in Denver for the Rapids game the next one. So that'll be 2 Dynamo games in a row. That'd be fun.
I know all my plans for May are kind of going down the drain. I was planning to go to the Dallas game May 17. I don't think that's gonna happen anymore. And actually to throw Edson, I was trying to make it out to that NASCAR race in the early week, and that's not gonna happen either. So the plans just keep going down the drain. That's why I want to secure the plans that I want to make. So the Nashville game, we got to make it a priority here, and have the Bayou City Soccer guys.
And we invite everybody also on the chat to come with us, to come with Rudy so far and Joey to Nashville if you guys
What's
are
the
down.
San Diego one? I also wanted to look at that.
It's right after that.
That one, no, that was the 4th of July game.
I can't do that one.
San Diego and Houston, yeah.
And Houston is October 3rd or 4th. It's somewhere around.
It's after the Nashville game, I think.
Right. So, come out. Jay Hurtado, we'll wait for you in Houston as well, man. I don't know if I can make the LA trip, but a playoff LA trip would be cool. I would say that, LA trip, maybe. I've never been to LA, so.
Ever?
I don't know. Ever.
Wow.
I will say though, I'm not like, oh, let's go to LA. Like I don't know.
Last time I traveled to LA for a game, they canceled it. So
I remember you were going to go see the LAFC game.
And something happens with LAFC Houston every single time, home or away.
Every single time. So this is a good game. I mean, obviously Colorado, it's playing pretty well. They got a good. You can see I put the team start a win streak at home. Obviously, they beat LAFC and Colorado's form, as I mentioned, it's not a terrible one. They're currently sitting in. Let me see. I have it here. It's 5th place with 14 points. As you can see, the slide that Edson just put up there. They beat Charlotte FC at home. They lost against Vancouver, who Vancouver is like on a rampage,
on fire.
And they just recently beat San Diego FC, who's also been pretty good.
Yeah.
So 3-2. So they can score some goals, man. It seems that way. So Colorado, I know that Joey, especially on our Gold Boot MVP stuff, I think you had Navarro. Did you pick Navarro up on this one?
Navarro's been doing good for me.
Yeah. See, and what's the other guy? Jordi Mihailovic. He's been pretty solid too.
He's been more than solid. He's been an MVP candidate for me.
There you go. So, Colorado, no easy task. I mean, we know how difficult those matches tend to be. Obviously, just playing anybody in your conference tends to be rocky. No pun intended. All right, cool. But yeah, no. At the end of the day, I mean, Colorado's a good team. Chris, you want to get us started with Colorado?
Damn, already?
Yeah, no, not predictions.
No, okay.
Just your feel. Or Joey, we'll go with you.
Yeah,
You're saying that Jordy's playing out of his mind. Tell us a little bit about Colorado and some of the players to watch.
They have a really good team right now. I picked them as my candidate for the top of the West in the preseason. I really like their team. I really like some of the players they brought in. Reggie Cannon's going to be here for a full year now. Zach Steffen came into his own in MLS back at the end of last season, and he's really carried that into this year. He's been absolutely incredible. Waziem has been really good as well, and they have a really good midfield now. Their midfield wasn't my favorite thing last year, But now that Mihailovic is, I mean, we know Mihailovic and Bassett are really good, but it's now more in the lower pivot of them, where they have Larraz, who's been playing fantastic soccer this year, and then you have Josh Atencio as well, who we really liked from coming over from Seattle. He's another really good player. So that kind of midfield box right there has been fantastic this year. And they even brought in Darren Yapi last week, who's been an absolute bust of a prospect that a lot of people liked early in his career. So yeah, they've been a dangerous team. If Yapi keeps playing like that, like every week, they're going to be really hard to beat.
Yeah, so as you can see, Edson posted the last starting lineup for the Colorado. I completely forgot. I mean, honestly, forgot about Reggie Cannon. I mean, that dude was on a doing very well until he got into Boa Vista, and then a couple injuries, and why not? And it looks like he's finding his form again. I know that's just in general position that the U.S. national team really needed at one point. And then, as you mentioned, Stefan has been doing fantastic. I mean, he had lost so much confidence, so it's good to see him back.
I think Kudu Pietro might be back for this game as well, which is kind of sucks for the Dynamo because he's a pretty exciting player.
Colorado has horrible jerseys. Don't they have like a white away jersey? Like
the white one is pretty nice.
Yeah,
it's like light blue.
Yeah,
it's
okay.
Like mountains.
I don't know.
They have bench depth too, which is a thing we haven't played a lot of teams with good bench depth this year. We've been playing a lot of injured teams like the Galaxy this last week, but they have guys off the bench. They have Cabral, they have Omir Fernandez. So
you're saying we're losing? That's what you're saying.
No, I'm not saying that.
I mean, possibly.
Sam Bassett's coming off the bench now. That's pretty cool too.
He had an assist, 8.3 game. That's pretty good.
Oh, I was talking about Sam his brother. He's got a brother. That's Cole Bassett's the one who started.
Look at that. The whole family over there.
Yeah. It's like Philly with the Sullivans.
I'm kind of scared now. You know what I mean?
He is underrated.
I don't even know if I'd say Cole Bassett's underrated at this point. I think he's properly rated. I think everyone just knows he's a very good player now.
I think he probably means more about the fact of like U.S. national team. I think he's a guy that should get more looks. Bassett.
He has in the past. I don't know. It's kind of tough with the national team with Bassett's position because he's like one of those pressing 10s. So he's kind of competing with guys like Tillman or Weston McKennie or Brendan Aronson for that spot. So it's tough. But yeah, I agree. I really like Cole Bassett. I think he should get some national team looks in the future for sure. And
I mean, he's still pretty young, so clearly, it's a guy that you see, the American talent, same as Jack McGlynn in that sense. They need to be able to be more visible, especially with what's happening. But I'm trying to look for the jersey. Now I'm just curious. Oh, I see it.
While you guys look for the jersey, let me go back in time for a second.
Yeah, what did Rodrigo say?
Yeah, I just got an answer back from Rodrigo. Rodrigo, he played goalkeeper his whole entire life. So he was a college. He said, this is what I asked him. I said, Rodrigo, if you watch the Galaxy versus Dynamo, what did you think about the goal? And was that a ball that, a savable ball? He said, yeah, should have been saved or at least tipped.
Yeah. So. Yeah. It wasn't like straight up like a Declan Rice shout out. I don't give Arsenal lots of props here, but like a free kick like that, definitely unreachable. But this one was there's some room for somebody to get that. I agree. Yeah. But again, I mean, free kicks in general, they're difficult for anybody, and I think that was clearly that was his first free kick or set piece scored on professionally. So people say like se tiran para la foto, you just throw yourself for the picture.
He was super late. He was at least a second late. But we'll just give him that. It is tough as a different you can tell. I don't want to get into it, but you can tell that he's still adjusting to the professional level. Like college level to professional level is there's such a gap that you can kind of tell the way that the way that he's being coached. When I was there at the game with the LAFC, like the goalkeeper coach, he would actively coach him like during the game. Like, hey, take your time, throw the ball on the ground. It was, waste seconds. Like he was so urgent to everything. And he was like, bro, chill. We're winning 1-0. Let the time go by. Like, get the ball, throw yourself on the ground. He did that. I'm not saying everything he did was wrong, but you can tell that he was actively was being coached as the game was going on, which is great because obviously he doesn't have the experience, but you can tell that he was kind of lacking, some experience, which is pretty obvious, right? But I mean, he's done great. He's a great shot stopper, dives pretty well whenever he has those weird kicks and balls. But we move on to Colorado, I guess.
Yeah, no. It's a good topic to touch on because again, now you have somebody, on his heels. Jonathan Bond, who it's obviously a guy that has played.
Yeah, and something that I forgot to say, this is a great spot for Blake in the sense that he was able at least to get some time to kind of show himself, to show that he's just not a college kid. Like he can actually play in the first level. So it at least he got the opportunity to get some eyes on him, and he played really big teams. So it wasn't that he played like chump games. He played Seattle, he played both LA teams. And he got a good run for his money for being a newbie.
Yeah, when I told you guys on the chat, I was like, dude, just play Blake, for 10 games straight. I'm sure you'll do great and sell him to Chelsea for $20 million. That's all you need,
Right.
You need somebody to take the whole, what's it called, hook it in their mouth, man. And Chelsea tends to pull that more often than not, with American goalkeepers or MLS goalkeepers. Whatever happened to what is the guys in Slovenia? Yeah,
Gabby Slovenia. He's on loan to Bell. Oh no, he's back in championship right now.
Yeah, and I mentioned that I was like, if he goes back to the Premier League and they just loan him around and send them Euro road trip, that'd be fine. It's more of it's not gonna happen, but I would love for Blake to be, the goalkeeper for the Dynamo for the next 10 years. I mean, that'll be fine with me. If
Blake Gillingham's a bit older than Gaga Slonina is.
He was. He got, I think, 18 was Slovenia. Blake is 22.
He's like 20 now, I think. Slonina.
Yeah. Well, when he got bought, I mean,
when he got bought, he was 18. Yeah, he was a starting goalkeeper for Chicago at 17.
Yeah, that's wild.
Yeah. And then, I mean, Matt Turner, he was a late goalkeeper, and
he was like a Blake Gillingham. Yep. He's a college guy.
He went to Arsenal, right? That's who picked him up. Oh, yeah.
Yep. And now he's at Crystal Palace on loan from Nottingham Forest.
Yeah. So, I mean, it'd be interesting. I mean, I think as us being fans and covering the team, I mean, you want the best for players like this. Again, the stories are good. They're great. But at the end of the day, you still want the most experienced goalkeeper, your best goalkeeper out there. But he's been fantastic, and I think what's great about him as well, I would say, is that he's very good with his feet. And I know that's something he mentioned in the interview that was it Dustin or you, Joey, that talked to him? And
that was Dustin.
Yeah. And he just mentioned that he used to play, as an infield player for quite a long time, so he feels comfortable with the ball at his feet. So, and you can see that, they pass him the ball. He's not very shaky. So that's a good thing because I mean that wasn't a big concern for Andrew Tarbell if he was good with his feet, if he was just gonna kick the crap out of the ball. At this point, we would never know. And sadly, Andrew Tarbell's time with the Dynamo may be over, as we've spoken about in our chat as well. Brandon mentioned Lingard start or sub against Colorado. I'm assuming sub.
Probably sub.
Yeah.
We'll get some insight from Ben this week.
Yeah, I think I'm going to say maybe 15, 20 minutes would be the smart thing to do.
30.
Yeah. I mean, knowing Ben, he would probably stick him in the 83rd minute, just
give him a good 5.
Oh man, I know.
Go play 5 minutes and whatever.
Vince has some questionable substitution timing this season. I feel like he always gets them right. Like the years before,
keep his guys in.
Yeah, he does. He definitely does. He'll what's it called? Beat the horse till it dies. Basically.
He's like me in FIFA. like when I used to play FIFA, no subs.
No
we
sub,
going we going 11 players all 90
People are like
minutes,
out there pulling their hamstrings.
full speed. Like
You remember playing
you-
that? You remember playing that whenever like you would do it, and then like they're just like you're like literally out wide, and the guy just grabs his hamstring and just like falls to the ground. I was like, dude,
Yeah,
what
they don't. That doesn't happen anymore. FIFA's not fun anymore. They took all the fun out of it.
all the reality, man. What's wrong? Come
I
on.
haven't played FIFA since like 20.
It doesn't even exist anymore. EAFC.
I took all the
It's
FIFA. It's still
R.I.P. FIFA.
Are you kidding me? Shout out to FIFA, EA Sports. It's in the game. Here's the possible predicted starting lineup, which is just the last game's lineup. I hope Reigns is
should
not
be
in
that.
there. Just for the sake of the team. Hopefully, Urso's back. We didn't hear anything of what happened to Urso. I
He's a
don't
late
think.
scratch. You
It
got
was like
injured.
a calf.
What did Ben
calf
say?
injury,
Like
I think he said.
Friday it happened.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, it was very late.
I was asleep when you talked to him. I fell asleep right after the game ended, and I was like, "Joey, take the wheel. You got the presser, man." But no, it's
They rushed us on the presser, man. But Ben was like, better fall asleep during that. When Diego got to his last questions, and Ben was like yawning during them.
yeah. Shout out to Diego, man. He's been joining the pressers. He's been doing a good job. For some reason, he keeps getting the last question, and he's done a good job. He keeps it entertaining. Because sometimes you're the last question, and it's like yes, no, bye, and he's thrown some good questions out for Ben to talk about, and Ponce. I think he asked Ponce a couple questions too. So good for Diego. Shout out Diego. Again, he's the man in charge of the orange and blue prints. If you want to hear his thoughts on the dash, which he really loves following and keep it up with, he'll keep you informed, as well as Manny Olivares, who does a good job there. Who else? What would your lineup be, Christian, in comparison to the last lineup?
No, I mean this is it, right? Just depending on Urso. I really love the double defensive mids, Urso Arthur. I think they work great together. Thinking about the future, something that kind of came up to mind late, like what we were talking about Reigns. Maybe I'm getting way ahead of myself, but I would love to see how Sebastian Rodriguez would do in that Reigns spot or Urso spot. Not, thinking about Urso being 36, and he's still a kid. He's 18. It's a big, it's a lot of pressure to be playing in that position. You basically, you're not the last line of defense at all, but you're a pretty important part because you kind of connect both sides of the field in a way, right? Arthur is obviously experienced. He knows what he's doing, but having somebody that can kind of help him out, as we saw Urso do it, that would be amazing. When you have somebody like Reigns, you kind of just have to cover his deficiencies if you're Arthur. So sometimes it might feel like you're playing with a man down. If that other person has a great game, you can both alternate, okay, you go, I cover, or, I go, you cover type thing. Then I feels like it's great. It also gives McGlynn the liberty to push forward and not worry about defending whatsoever, which I don't think he's great at anyways. So it's just kind of be like, just do your thing, boy. Like, go play, So yeah, if that would be interesting to see how, Sebastian Rodriguez kind of pans out in the future. But I think he should be the replacement of that spot in the future.
Yeah, he has a pretty high ceiling. I will agree. He's a talented guy.
He's more aggressive than Reigns, in my opinion. So
Yeah.
I think to play in that position, I mean, Reigns, if you look at the stats, he lost every single duel that he was in. I think it was 7 or 9 or 8. But every single duel, it was 0, 0 or 8 or 0 for 7 or whatever. So he obviously wasn't doing great defensively. I mean, granted, you can always have a bad game and you can bounce back. So it's going to be interesting to see if Reigns does get back into this game, if the switch is going to click on and he's going to have at least a more of aggressive tone to it. But we'll see.
Yeah. I agree with it. With a lot of what you're saying, and obviously people are calling out Dago's talking about Arsu getting minutes.
Yeah.
We spoke about this about the team just looking different in the months to come with obviously the injury players getting back into the team eventually, whether Nali, Nelson Quinones, obviously Linger being there, Pablo Ortiz, like, guys are going to keep. And then obviously.
Lakers probably going to kill all those players, honestly.
Yeah. And then obviously injuries obviously happened too. So
I would. I don't know. I'd probably bring Ali back into this next game, though. I would. I think their back line needs to be stretched a bit. Reggie Cannon plays very narrow sometimes, and almost like a third center back, kind of Escobar does. So I think they need some field stretching. I would put Kovalchik back into the midfield. I'd put him as an 8, and then put Aliu on the left and take out Reigns.
Yeah.
Kovalchik's the type of player at this point, I feel like you could throw him anywhere and he could do a job.
He might.
I think my favorite comparison for Kovalchik is Weston McKennie on Juventus. He's kind of like a pressing 10 as his best position, but you could put him as an 8. You could put him on the wing. You could put him as a wing back. I'm sure you could put Kovalchik at fullback and he'll do a job as well. So yeah. I'd put him as an 8. And then
it's like,
get
I think
start Linger. You could start if Linger's ready to go.
Yeah. He plays on the left attacking,
or put him on
right,
left wing,
right? Because he's right-footed. We spoke about this, right?
Yeah.
With Dustin. Mm-hmm.
So who do you take out?
Take out Reigns.
Oh, Reigns. Okay,
Put Kovalchik as the 8, and then put Linger in.
Put Linger on the left. Gotcha.
I'd be okay with that.
That makes sense.
It's not like Kovalchik's really much of an attacker anyway. He doesn't really create much.
He gives me what's his man? Oh man, he played center back, but he's like 5'4" from Chile. Dang it.
Oh, Gary Neville or what? Gary Mendel.
Oh,
Gary Mendel.
Gary Mendel.
Bro, imagine having like a
Cardiff City legend.
He was like a 5'6" like center back. It's like,
wait, right now that you say that a guy that is small like that, it's Eric Dueñas, and we spoke about this also last week.
We haven't seen him
about he was getting minutes, and out of nowhere he hasn't been playing.
Well, it's been impressing. I mean, you have to earn those minutes. He's not earning them.
True.
But he got. I mean, he's got an assist. He's done decent, but I mean
he got an assist in garbage time.
He has, well, but I mean, better than others, I would say. But the little thing we've seen, it's defensively it's all right, but he also loses the ball unnecessarily, and obviously gets fouls as well that shouldn't happen. But let's talk about predictions, Joey. We'll start with you before we go into Christian's Orange Divination. You can put that up there, Edson. It's fine.
What am I thinking? Colorado are pretty good. They're a little inconsistent. Dynamo played really well at home against LAFC. I think they're going to come back in with a defensive stance. I'm going to go 2-1 Dynamo. They're going to put some points on the board. 2-1.
2-1. Looking at Colorado, they drew. Let me see. I'm looking at their away record. They drew against St. Louis City. They beat Austin FC. They beat San Jose. They lost against Vancouver. So I mean, overall, it's not a terrible away form for them. But I think they'll Dynamo would win 2-1. I'm gonna go with 2-1. I feel it. Last week I said that Ponce was gonna score a brace. I was close. I got 50% of it. Better odds than Vegas, maybe. But yeah, I'm gonna stick with 2-1 here. And Christian, your prediction for the game, and then give us a good Orange Divination, man, that we can put out there, man.
It is kind of tough. I wish I had the starting 11. That would make my life so much easier. But let's just say this.
For who? Which one?
I don't know. Let me I'll just talk and then it'll come out.
All right.
No, because I'm gonna say the Orange Divination, and then I'll tell you the score line. I think if Lingard plays, he will have an assist. That's my divination. If he plays, he'll have an assist, and I think everybody's gonna jump on the bandwagon of Lingard. That's gonna be my divination, and I think that this game will go 2-2.
2-2.
I see it as a tie. I'm honestly kind of going more into the we'll lose column, but I'm gonna try to stay positive and say 2-2 as a tie.
Fair analysis.
Yeah.
Did you say your Orange Divination perfect?
Lingered if Lingard plays, he'll get an assist. If he doesn't play, we'll say
No, just say he. Okay,
Yeah,
Lingard
that.
plays, gets an assist. That's
there
it.
you go.
So
Yeah.
it would be a yes or no.
Yes.
So maybe Lingard scores a hat trick, and
Gee.
that'd be nice. That'd be
He's
nice.
the Sebastian Ferreira of the 2025 season.
Bro. Yeah, I mean, pick on Colorado for why not? Because
It would be
let me
nice.
see.
To beat a good team at home, I think it would be a beginning of something.
I mean,
But
looking at
we've been
the
saying that for a while.
yeah, looking at the head-to-head. I mean, the Dynamo last game they won 3-1 against Colorado at home. They beat Colorado with that Brad Smith beauty. I think Joey was there.
Yeah, I was not at that game.
Celebrating it. Then after that, it was a 5-1 at home at Shell Energy Stadium for the Dynamo win. So I mean, the Dynamo fan seems to find some success against Colorado.
I always feel like Colorado and Salt Lake are like
Very
Colorado,
similar.
Salt Lake, Kansas City are like those. They're kind of like rivalry matches in a way, like kind of like to say low key rivalry matches, just because I feel like those clubs or those cities are so like even when it comes to like I don't know the way that they have lived in their MLS life. Like, they have like some success here and there, but they're pretty like mid, in a way.
Yeah, that's true.
It's like the battle of the mids.
All right. Well, hopefully we're back here on Wednesday, on Monday, talking about a win for the Dynamo as they slowly but surely climb the ladder, climb the table into a position, because obviously you play Colorado, and I believe after that you play Austin. Yep, you're looking at Austin as well. So good matchups. Oh yeah, LAFC May 3rd. That's when they're playing over there. So yeah, it'd be there shortly. So let's finish with the last few slides. I think be Dynamo 2. Dynamo 2 does not have a game.
No.
It was scheduled for the 15th, so for Tuesday, and it got moved to like September, so they won't be back in action till the 23rd. So actually next Wednesday, they'll be playing Vancouver Whitecaps. What is their record for Whitecaps? I'm looking at it. I'm like, are they doing as good as their? No, they're not doing as
parent
great.
team.
Yeah.
Usually the best teams in the the better teams in the MLS have shitty or two teams, and then is the opposite. Because I think it was the year that Colorado was like dead last. Their second team was like really, really good. So it's funny how that happens.
That's true. But yeah, I mean, that's all we have for today. Did you guys did we not say something soccer, non-soccer, anything that you guys want to share? Feel free.
No,
man, there's not really too much to get to.
Yeah.
How's the band doing?
Yeah, I was about to say, how's the tour looking?
We're rocking.
You got some groupies yet? No, I'm kidding. But yeah, obviously,
drummer doesn't get that,
right? Chris, man, tell the people how they can connect with us, man, and stay connected.
Yeah, guys, the website is at BayouCitySoccer.net. That's where you're gonna find anything and everything that we do. Don't forget to check out every article that we put out. There's articles Monday through Monday, literally every single day. Parking situation, I'll leave it to Rudy to talk about here in a minute. But yeah, go check out the ratings for the Dash and the Dynamo, two teams rating podcast 3 times a week. We have this one on Mondays. We have blue and orange and blueprints on Wednesdays, and then Movimiento Naranja on Thursdays for the Spanish speakers in your life. So you can send that to them. Check out the Instagram, the Facebook, the Blue Sky, the X, the YouTube channel. We're literally everywhere. So go check that out. Leave a comment, review, follow, do everything that you have to do over there. If you're listening on the podcast, also leave us a review. Let us know how we're doing. Leave us a 5-star review. If you can, it helps out. It just kind of gets the show to more people, more audiences. And once again, we want to thank Ugly Guppy for the support, for the great gear. We want to thank Elotes Bravos for their support. We are going to be bringing back the fan duel soon. And of course, We Got Soccer, WeGotSoccer.com. We will be having a little giveaway soon also from them, so you can get some gear. So stay tuned to that. We'll mention it soon coming up. And yeah, BayouCitySoccer.net. Check us out.
Yeah. Yeah. Thanks for listening, guys. And who was it? Carlos. Carlos. Dude. Usually, whenever I commute all the way from Alvin, Texas, good old Alvin, Texas. So I have a long commute. So the place that I tend to park at, when I do, it's Emancipation and McKinney Street. There's a pretty decent parking lot right there, which doesn't get extremely expensive. And probably as I say this, everybody's gonna go crash that parking lot and make it, like $30 a game or something. But they're usually, pretty friendly. And actually, I would last on Saturday when I went to the Dash game, I drove by and I was telling David, because he went with me, hey, they put one of those, like pay, like those mobile pay things. So I'm like, hopefully that makes it a little bit more standard, and they don't, just put whatever sign they want out there to spike the thing. So yeah, that's a good parking spot. It's obviously like a gravel or a dirt parking lot, but it gets the job done. It's a really good spot. It's away from like the Astros crowd and like the bars crowd, and that's usually where I park. And if what's it called, people that are going to the game ask me, that's usually where I send them. I'll tend to send my dad. But yeah, otherwise, unless if you live inside 610, then yeah, maybe Uber. Depending if you drink and stuff, like, it's obviously helpful. But that's my 2 cents on parking. Joey is super far away, so I don't know where he would be parking.
Yeah, I don't park anywhere. I park at the airport.
Leave the car at the airport, and what's it called? Leave the car at the airport in Albuquerque, and then get an Uber here. But yeah, thank you again. As Christian mentions, thank you again for your support. Thank you guys. Thanks, Joey and Chris, for making time for the podcast. I know we get busy. Joey, the fans missed you, so I'm sure they love that you're back.
Feel loved.
And the moral of the story that we have to get Rodrigo to make it out and make a cameo one of the days. So Chris, you may have to be the one to rattle that cage a little bit. But yeah, man. Thanks, Edson, in the bag. Thank you guys. Let's see, one more mention. I feel like I have to say. Oh, if you go into social media and you feel like you want to give, I know that Chris, did you mention that about buying those beers and stuff like that?
No, I did not.
Yeah, so if you go into social media, you want to support, there is a website that I believe is called Buy Me a Beer, and you'll find it on Instagram. So if you feel free to send a couple bucks to keep the website running and to pay the big bucks to Joey Chavala, and as he brings all his stats into the mix, feel free, man.
Buck per stat.
Yeah, exactly. It's pretty cheap, right? That's not too expensive. But shout out to all the guys that help us out. Obviously, you guys know that there's a lot of photographers in the background, and they are amazing. But if there's nothing else to say, Edson, I'm pretty close to closing it. So don't forget to hold it down and keep it forever orange, guys. Peace.
Peace.
Peace.